everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm Bevan Fletcher, Senior Editor of Stream TV Insider, and I'm here with Eric Opeka, President and Chief Strategy Officer of Cineverse. Hey, Eric. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Bevan. Thanks for having me.
So to set the stage a little, Cineverse distributes more than 71,000 premium films, series, and podcasts. And I think it's clear consumers continue to flock to streaming, but we're here to talk about the ability to monetize that through advertising. So to kick things off, I kind of want to ask you about how the distribution piece fits into advertising and monetization of streaming. So Cineverse has dozens of streaming channels, podcasts, theatrical releases. So strategically, how do you leverage those multiple distribution endpoints and channels to more effectively capture ad dollars and monetize?
Great question, Bevan. I think for us, we've always been a multi-platform company. So our focus is whether we're operating channels within third-party ecosystems like FAST on a Samsung TV platform or LG or Vizio, or whether we're delivering content and shows to partners where they're monetizing like on Tubi. We're pretty agnostic on that. We do have our own direct ad sales team and internal advertising capabilities. We own our own portfolio of direct-to-consumer applications where we have inventory there. So really for us, it's across the board. We do every single model. We think that diversification protects us if there's any sort of channel downside or seasonality at the macro level. For example, it's been a challenging year for open market programmatic. However, YouTube today has been very robust and high teens to low 20% double-digit growth for us. So by having that diversification of distribution, we can take advantage of emerging or high growth channels that will help us buck the revenue trends and kind of smooth things out as we progress through the year.
Interesting. So really taking that multi-platform approach to kind of insulate. Makes sense. And you mentioned the ad tech. I kind of want to get into that for a minute. I don't think it's any secret that both audiences and ad tech are a bit fragmented in the CTV space. And sometimes that can make targeting and reach more of a challenge. And I've heard before that there's often a lack of transparency for brands in terms of where their ads are actually running against content. And I saw in March you integrated the Trade Desk's OpenPath with Cineverse's 360 ad platform. So could you just talk to me a little bit about why integrations with partners like that and the actual ability for brands to have more visibility into the content on streaming is important? And how does that translate to better monetization?
We've been seeing a big trend lately of brands trying to work as close to publishers as possible and move beyond working with intermediaries. So I think one big and important facet there is that doing those kinds of deals allows us to work directly with brands. We've done some research and studies, and there's been other studies that have shown 30 to 40% of every ad dollar spent is lost to any intermediary fees and other elements that ultimately leads to less dollars reaching consumers, which are ultimately what advertisers care about. So we think things like OpenPath, operating our own ad tech stack versus relying on third parties is how we help meet that demand and need from the advertisers and agencies and brands we work with.
Mm-hmm. So kind of shortening that supply chain path, kind of making it more efficient.
Exactly.
I want to switch topics, but still on advertising. But Cineverse has been doing some cool AI-powered initiatives. You have your content discovery with CineSearch, the real-time programmatic ad optimization, and then I think you've been doing some audience segmentation that's AI-driven with Matchpoint. So AI is clearly hot, but to you, what near-term application do you see AI-based tools having the most impact or most legs over the next 6 months when it comes to advancing CTV advertising and monetization of streaming?
Well, one thing that I think we're finding happening a lot lately is being able to target content specifically. So, for example, I want to reach somebody who watches a specific show on one of the larger streamers. I want that audience, but I don't want to pay that rate to an HBO Max or Netflix and so on. So we think using AI tools to help identify audience segments on types of shows that they're watching and create correlations between the broader pantheon of shows versus just what's on the big streamers will allow smart advertisers to reach very, very targeted and effective buckets of consumers for much cheaper. And sometimes you can be at almost 50% cheaper and hit the same audience watching similar shows and content. People who like certain drama shows are going to watch this list of drama shows, and these shows are available for much cheaper than the big drama shows. So we think that's a prime example of how one might leverage AI. That kind of sophisticated content matching would simply not be available through traditional tagging or other mechanisms that are in the marketplace today.
And you think we'll see real world applications of that sooner than later?
You will, and we're already doing some of these things in our C360 platform. I think that also goes back to what we talk about when you own the stack. We're in, a lot of people don't realize we're as much of an engineering company as an entertainment company. We have, an engineering campus in India with over 110 employees that spend all day building next generation technologies and running our platform. So we have, I think, a distinct edge when it comes to thinking up new things that we can do for advertisers, and we do it constantly.
So not only the content, but the tech too, and kind of that whole ecosystem view.
We think ultimately AI will be an integral part of not just the advertising, but the entire totality of content releasing.
Interesting. Well, a lot of great insights there. Thank you for sharing, and a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to. So thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bevan. Really appreciate it.